A woman from Jiangsu had a fever late at night, but after receiving a fever-reducing injection, her life was hanging by a thread. After the hospital informed them of the cause, her husband immediately called the police. June 22, 2012. After finishing her meal, Ms. Zhang from Lianyungang, Jiangsu, returned home alone. Upon returning home, she felt unwell and prepared to go to bed early to rest. Just then, her best friend came to see her. After entering, the best friend saw Ms. Zhang feeling groggy. Her face flushed red, so she asked, "Are you running a fever?" Then she reached out and touched her forehead. You don't know until you touch it. Touch was a shock. Ms. Zhang's forehead was burning hot. Then her best friend immediately took Ms. Zhang to the hospital. Afterward, the doctor measured her temperature. It was 38.5 degrees, then told her that taking medicine wouldn't work. She needed a fever-reducing shot, and it was precisely this action by the doctor that completely ruined Ms. Zhang's family. What exactly happened? They wanted to give her an intramuscular injection, and also hang several bottles of 4 fluids. I just have a fever. Ms. Zhang, after arriving at the hospital, although she thought the doctor was making a fuss, she still accepted the doctor's advice, and not only received an antipyretic injection, but also had several bottles of saline solution infused. After this series of treatments, according to normal circumstances, the fever will definitely get better tomorrow. So after the infusion, Ms. Zhang went home with her best friend. Upon arriving home, Ms. Zhang immediately fell asleep. The next morning, after waking up, Ms. Zhang's body felt strange, which startled her husband. What's going on? It turned out that when Ms. Zhang woke up, she found that both of her hands were covered in red spots, and they were spreading. Also, she was burning up with fever. I feel like I'm about to explode from the heat. So, Ms. Zhang's husband took out a thermometer and took her temperature. Unexpectedly, Ms. Zhang's temperature didn't drop after the antipyretic injection. Instead, it rose. It went from 38.5 degrees to 39.8 degrees. Seeing the temperature reading, Ms. Zhang's husband was frightened and quickly took his wife to the hospital. After arriving at the hospital, they found the doctor from the previous day again. They asked for the reason. The doctor took a look. But it's nothing serious. A minor issue. Another shot and you'll be fine. So, they gave her another fever-reducing injection and infused several bottles of saline. At this point, Ms. Zhang felt that after 2 days of treatment, she should at least feel a little better tomorrow. Then she went home with her husband, who knew that by the third morning, Ms. Zhang was so frightened that she was admitted to the hospital. Ms. Zhang realized something was wrong with her body after she woke up. She then turned on the light to take a look. She had developed large blisters all over her body. They looked like they were rotting. Seeing herself in the mirror, Ms. Zhang was so frightened that she screamed. Then Ms. Zhang was rushed back to the hospital. Unexpectedly, not long after being hospitalized, Ms. Zhang's condition rapidly deteriorated. On the 4th day, her temperature actually reached 42 degrees. And at this moment, Ms. Zhang's glasses were blocked by secretions, and her breathing was very difficult. At the same time, a large area of red rashes appeared on her body, and her consciousness was already very blurred. At this time, Ms. Zhang's life was in danger, so the hospital immediately began to analyze and examine Ms. Zhang's condition. Then the hospital determined that Ms. Zhang's illness was severe erythema multiforme. Ms. Zhang's condition has already become severe. She's facing a constant threat of death. But a perfectly healthy person, with just a regular fever, why would she contract a severe skin disease? This is something Ms. Zhang's husband can't understand. Later, the husband checked his wife's medical records. It doesn't matter if you don't look. After reading them, Ms. Zhang's husband wanted to call the police immediately. What's going on this time? It turned out that Ms. Zhang's husband graduated from China Pharmaceutical University, so as an expert, he is quite sensitive to medications. When his wife became like this, he immediately reviewed his wife's medical records. He was immediately stunned by what he saw. It turned out that his wife's current condition was all caused by the doctor prescribing the wrong medication. It turned out that in the prescription the doctor had written, there was an antipyretic called compound aminopyrene. Later, after Ms. Zhang's husband visited several hospitals, and it was completely confirmed that it was the doctor's fault. So they sued the doctor and the hospital. The doctor, who originally saved lives, also didn't expect an accident would cause such a huge loss to a family. But it's already happened. It's no longer meaningful to pursue who's right or wrong. Life still has to go on. I hope that no matter what kind of work you do in the future, everyone in front of the screen must do their job well, and also be responsible to others. Life is long, and cherish every step. I'm Yorin. Thank you for watching. That's all for this story. See you tomorrow. 58-year-old Ms. Liu felt unwell during dinner, so she and her husband went into the emergency room. Just when everyone thought her illness wasn't too critical, suddenly a large pool of blood was vomited on the ground, leaving all the medical staff present at a loss. Oh! A large pool of blood was vomited on the ground. The doctors immediately realized that the patient's condition was very dangerous. During dinner, the elderly woman felt unwell, so she went into the room to rest. Unexpectedly, 2 minutes later, she walked out with a basin. She had vomited a lot of blood into it. Her husband noticed and realized the situation was serious. So, he immediately took the elderly woman to the hospital. As soon as she lay down on the hospital bed, the elderly woman vomited half a plastic bag of blood again. This immediately made the medical staff nervous, because before arriving at the hospital, she had already vomited blood once at home. After arriving at the hospital, this is already the second time she's vomited blood. Such a frightening amount of blood loss. It's like she's slowly spitting her life away, especially when calculating based on the ant's weight. The ant's total blood volume is only about 5,000 milliliters. These 3 instances of vomiting blood have already amounted to almost 2,000 milliliters. The result of this calculation is that the blood loss has reached 1/3 of her body's total. It can be said that her condition is extremely critical. So what measures should the doctor take next? His bleeding is quite heavy, and also quite severe. In a situation like this, the mortality rate is relatively high. In China, the mortality rate in this situation generally reaches over 50%. With the arrival of the gastroenterologist, after some questioning and examination, after listening to the doctor, Aunt Lu, who originally thought she could be saved, refused the doctor's treatment outright. Why is this? We're going to insert a Sangsake and Blakemore tube for you later. This tube is specifically designed to compress and stop the bleeding. It's similar to inserting a nasogastric tube. Have you had a nasogastric tube inserted before? It's very uncomfortable. Will those 3 work? Now, the only way for old Mrs. Lu to survive is to stop the bleeding. However, the only 3 methods to stop the bleeding are: the first method, drug treatment, has already been exhausted. The second method, surgical treatment, is too late. Only the third method remains, which is to insert a Sangsake and Blakemore tube to stop the bleeding. Only by stopping the bleeding is there a 50% chance of saving her life. But this is as uncomfortable as getting an endoscopy. Hearing this, Ms. Lu immediately shouted that she was uncomfortable, and flatly rejected the doctor's only life-saving measure. Afterwards, in order to stop the bleeding as quickly as possible, so the doctor began to repeatedly persuade her. Ms. Lu's blood, 3,000 to 4,000 milliliters. You've already lost half of it now. You know, right? We have to hold you down, and then give you a blood transfusion. It'll only work after that. Yes, you can't handle it. But no matter how they tried to persuade her, the old woman still refused the doctor's life-saving treatment. As time passed second by second, the doctor was also very worried. So he called Ms. Lu's husband, hoping as a family member he could try to persuade her. Then Ms. Lu's words further revealed the reason for her unwillingness to cooperate with treatment. You're playing with your own life. How much does it matter? We won't take your money. Don't worry about the money. The originally stubborn Ms. Lu still refused intubation. Was she afraid of the cost? Afraid of the discomfort? The doctor and her husband were helpless. They could only continue to persuade her. At this moment, Ms. Lu started vomiting blood again. Seeing this, in order to save her, after obtaining the consent of her family, the attending physician made a decisive decision to forcefully intubate her. After all, time is of the essence. Only by acting with utmost speed can we have the greatest chance of saving her life. But will Ms. Lu, who has been refusing, cooperate? Relax a little. Because of Ms. Lu's uncooperation, the first intubation attempt failed. Even though the doctor's persuasion was for her own good, she was still struggling desperately. She even declared she didn't want to live. Then the doctor's words, "Don't you want your daughter? Has she given you up? You don't want her? She needs you. You don't want them? They all want you." No matter how much they persuaded her, it didn't change Ms. Lu's mind about not wanting to live. Fortunately, the second intubation was successfully performed with the cooperation of all the medical staff. It was inserted smoothly into her body. As the gas was injected into the triple lumen tube, Ms. Lu's bleeding was also stopped in time. This race against time, the battle to insert the tube, can be said that Ms. Lu's life was saved. It was also thanks to the doctor's decisive choice in the critical situation. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Ms. Lu had resumed eating in the ward a week after the surgery, and her complexion looked very good. Facing her savior, Ms. Lu was even more grateful. The most precious thing for a person is life. Indeed, life is priceless. Once life is lost, then all the lights and prosperity in the world are ultimately nothing but desolate. Review of female driver's amazing car skills. You have to admit it. Okay. This dog, kill it. I'm here with you on the car. Here comes the car, it's okay, it's okay. I'll announce, the young lady has arrived. Get out of the way. Wahaha, wahaha, wahaha. What's wrong, wife? Are you okay? This mung bean is good. Can drive like this. Just, there are many obstacles in life to overcome. Since ancient times, love has been the most painful. Maybe I'm destined to be tossed about in the sea of love. Given so much for you, yet it causes me so much pain. Can't say it, because I love you, just like the brakes are on. You say now, I stepped on them before. Scraped it. Ouch, ouch, oh, haha. What to do? You step on the brakes. You step on the accelerator. Come on, get in. I'm in a hurry to leave. Wow. Did you find it? High beams. Wow, who is this? Wow. How could you kick me out, you jerk? You're in such a hurry. You must go. Okay. Ha. You're awesome. You're so bad. Iron battle charging. Don't understand clearly. This is going to be difficult. Look, oh. Said a few women came up. Really ran into trouble here. Mr. Ding from Hunan bought an Audi A6 at a 4S store in Harbin. The salesperson told Mr. Ding that the store didn't have any cars in stock. They would contact him after the car arrived. After ordering the car, Mr. Ding went on a business trip to Guangdong. During the trip, he received a call from the 4S store to pick up the car. Considering the long distance, he looked for a logistics company online. He planned to have his Audi transported back to his hometown in Hunan. After agreeing on the shipping fee with the logistics company, Mr. Ding, who was in Guangdong, saw his car via video. It was successfully loaded onto the truck. He finally breathed a sigh of relief, thinking he could drive his Audi once he got back from the business trip. Mr. Ding was very happy. Unexpectedly, an hour after the logistics truck departed, Mr. Ding received a phone call that plunged his mood to the bottom. They wanted 2,000. They didn't give him 2,000. After a while, it became 18,000. What do they want 2,000 for? 2,000 is just for fuel. In a little while, they told me, give me 18,000 yuan. I'll tell you where the car is. If you don't pay, you'll lose the car. Do whatever you want. The car has just been taken away. The other party just suddenly raised the price. This made Mr. Ding very uneasy about this logistics company. He immediately bought a plane ticket from Guangdong to Harbin. After getting off the plane, I found the logistics company at the address online. I wore short sleeves from Guangzhou to Harbin. I was freezing after getting off the plane. It was October. It was tens of degrees below zero in Harbin. You know? Try and solve this. Yesterday it was 18,000. Today it's 24,000. The price has gone up. Why was it 18,000 yesterday? Today it's 24,000. You didn't send the money yesterday. 18,000 has increased in price today. Yesterday it was a price. If you don't pay 24,000 today, what will the price be tomorrow? You won't pay again? The shipping fee of 3,900 yuan agreed upon before shipment. In one day, it has increased to 24,000 yuan. Mr. Ding said he couldn't accept it. After negotiating with the Shuangha logistics staff, they couldn't reach an agreement. He left first. Thinking of his Audi A6 still at the logistics company, the next day he had to find the Shuangha logistics company again, negotiating 24,000. I said I don't have that much money. Right now, I only have 20,000 yuan. If you want it, it's these 20,000 yuan. If not, I can't. You should have asked him then. Where did you take my car? Where did you dump it? You said you wouldn't tell me where the car was until I paid. After Mr. Ding paid the 20,000 yuan shipping fee, Shuangha Logistics Company told him the location of the Audi. It turned out that the logistics company hadn't even sent his Audi in the direction of Hunan, but was taken to another logistics park. They found a corner and dumped it there. After getting his Audi, Mr. Ding went to the police station to report the situation. However, Mr. Ding was not the first to encounter the exorbitant shipping fees. Mr. Huang from Beijing had the exact same experience. He also bought a car in Harbin. Also found Shuangha Logistics for shipping online. Then contacted this Ijia Logistics company. And then after he crashed the car, because he wrote me a logistics shipping bill. This bill, at that time, he had me fill in the shipping cost in advance. And other things. After filling it in advance, because there were some blank spaces, the blank spaces, I just signed my name in advance. After signing it, then I started arranging this and that other things. Mr. Huang said the shipping fee agreed upon with the person in charge of the logistics company was 1,500 yuan. It was a bit lower than other logistics companies. After that, the car was taken away. After all this was arranged properly, Mr. Huang looked at the contract of the logistics company. You wouldn't know if you didn't look, but one look gave a fright. Take out that form. After taking it out, I saw something's wrong. I've been scammed. Then I called them directly. I've been scammed. I saw on that form, what was written was different from what I had before. After Mr. Huang discovered the problem, he returned to find Shuangha Logistics. Originally, he wanted to reason with the other party, but was stopped by several tattooed men as soon as he approached. A wise man doesn't suffer immediate losses. Mr. Huang didn't say much to the other party. He quickly left. Then he called the police. The 1 became 7. And originally, there was nothing in the declared value section. Then later, they added 70,000. Both of these were designed by the Shuangha Logistics Company. It wasn't written like this when you signed the contract, but after signing the contract, 7,500 yuan appeared on the contract, and 70,000 yuan. The staff found that Mr. Huang's logistics contract had 2 places that had been altered. Just like that, the shipping fee changed from 1,500 yuan to more than 20,000 yuan. They thought it was a contract dispute, but the careful staff found that more than 40 people had encountered similar situations. They are all from out of town. They are unfamiliar with harrowing. Plus, their goods are with the logistics company, so when they encounter the other party's price gouging, they can only reluctantly pay the exorbitant price.